Cool, cool. And then we got Ethan. Ethan Burkel, introduce yourself.
Good morning, or good afternoon. All right.
Nice. Okay, that was his intro. All right.
Let's do
This
it.
is this is
Let's
Ethan.
do
All
it.
right, cool. Let's get right into it. Ethan won like 28 grand last month, and I think he had three or four new riders. So he's been having like exponential growth in the last couple months, which is amazing to see, especially for me because he's been doing it almost a year now. I think this is month 9 or 10, I think. So it took you about 7 months to write your first 20, right? You had
hmm
hit 18 a couple times. I think your first couple months, we were like, okay, he's kind of on. And then normally what we like to call is a sophomore slump that happens. And then we all get a little messed up for a couple months, whatever the case may be. We think we're too good than we actually are. And then last couple months, you've been really ripping. So, one, let's talk about that. How to write insurance first. You can't teach nobody to write insurance if you don't know how to. So, first off, what's the secret to being able to write 20 grand?
I think the only secret is consistency. So waking up every morning, doing the same thing Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, whatever your work schedule may be. Just show up and perform, right? You can't make money if you don't work. So I think the biggest thing is just consistency and
Okay.
being intent with our time as well.
A lot of people say like consistency, like what does consistency mean to you? Because that can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people.
It's a good question. Um, For me, consistency is a set schedule. So I know that Monday through Friday, I'm working from 7:30 in the morning to 5:30 at night, and then I go home. So Monday through Friday, that's my set schedule. I'm here to work, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm not doing anything else, right? I'm outbound and I'm doing whatever I need to do in order to speak to people and present. So in terms of consistency, my consistency is showing up.
Bam. Now is another thing, another part of consistency is having consistent spend. It's one of the most important things. If you
Mm.
spend each week, then you are forced to work. Let's talk about that. You recently started spending consistently, whether that be 1,000 or 2,000 each week. And what was kind of that switch? Because before you would like sometimes buy some leads, sometimes not. What was that switch for you?
I think as the deposits kept coming in, I realized like, okay, I need to do this now. You see guys around the office, Blake, Joe, you, James, you guys are spending money like it doesn't hurt. And when you're around that type of environment, you're like, what am I doing wrong? Right. And that's exactly what it was. And I feel like that's why it took me so long to hit that 20K mark. And then obviously from here moving forward, it's going to increase. But I think it was a reality check when I wasn't getting paid as much or I didn't have as much production. And it was like, I wonder why these guys are doing these numbers. Oh, probably because they spend money consistently, right? It's a pretty black and white answer. I'm
Yeah.
working the same amount of hours. Why aren't I producing as much? Because I'm not investing as much. So I think that was kind of like the wake up.
Yep. I'll say that. I'll double down on that. If you see like the people riding at the top of that leaderboard and you're like, damn, I feel like I'm really putting in the work. But like what is it that's clicking for them that's not clicking for me? It's probably your spend. Okay. That's going to be your first step is you need to get to a consistent lead spend and you need to overspend at first. A lot of people think, oh, let me just start off slow. Like like Edgar, you're like, let me just start off slow, do $500 a week, right? No, 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 no. Let's just triple that. Let's just do 1,500, right? I like to scale people back rather than have to push them forward. Because if I could just get you to spend so much, and then you're like, Hanan, I'm getting killed on leads. I'm like, all right, well, now we can scale it back and it'll probably still produce the same. Because there is a healthy amount of having too many leads and having too little leads, right? I've done it myself. I've spent way too much on leads, and then my production didn't go up at all. Why? Because one, I'm lazy, so my activity didn't go up with my lead spend. Okay, so make sure your activity has to go up with your lead spend. And two, diversifying your lead type is also really, really important as well. You don't want to be dependent on one source, on one guy. You don't want one guy to just run your ads. You don't want one guy that you're buying leads from. Okay, you need to diversify. That is one of the most important things. Now, Ethan, so you recently started writing a lot and you started bringing people in. Let me ask this: Is it easier? Did you start bringing people in when you started writing 20,000, or was it before that?
I think the process came before that. I understood how to make money. I just wasn't doing it in terms of life insurance. So I thought I could teach it quite early, a few months in. That's when I started the onboarding process. And then when I obviously started producing 20, 25,000, that's when I was like, okay, I get it. It's it's now I'm understanding now. Like now I could teach this in my sleep. Um, yeah,
Okay. So it was like right around the same time because
yeah.
the guys started coming in the office like right when you're pushing 20. And
Hmm.
I remember you had a week or two and you're like, bro, I haven't even wrote. You're like, I spent this much on leads. I spent this much at the business. It was like 3, 4 grand. And you're like, I haven't even wrote a single policy in like a week or two. Um, talk about that because when you start bringing people on, you get a little selfless, right? But there has to be a healthy balance. So you got selfless for a little bit, and you were just pouring right into them, pouring, 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 and then it clicked, and then you were able to start selling again, and then you were up 28 grand last month. That was your highest month ever, and that was at the same time you probably worked the least amount. So how is that possible?
Uh, when I started onboarding agents, I didn't necessarily understand the process and how to have that balance with the teaching versus selling. So a lot of that time spent was spent towards teaching. And then obviously I realized like I need to make money too, right? I can't keep spending thousands and thousands of dollars and have no type of income and purely relying on these agents. So that's when I kind of set a set schedule. So I had part-time agents coming in at certain time frames, and I knew from 7:30 in the morning to 12, I need to go as hard as possible to make sure that I close my at least one policy a day. That way, 12 to 5 or whatever that time frame is after, I can spend time with them knowing one, I already sold, right? I already made my money for the day. Good. And two, I could spend time with them with no distractions. I could be a lot more hands-on. I could be a lot more thorough. And that's kind of what shifted was having a set schedule.
Mm, okay. Now I know you had a couple topics you wanted to touch on. You could bring those up however you want.
I mean, I think the first one, right, in terms of being able to write and bringing new agents on, is the process has to be simple. So it should be a copy and paste system. If I bring a 14-year-old into this industry, they should be able to make money realistically, right? So having a system that's in place that's so simple that anybody could thrive in is one, I think, the most important part of this industry. Um, to a point to where it can almost be self-taught. So I'm like, hey, follow this script, get on the phone, dial. They start learning how to talk to people. They can truly learn objections on their own, right? Um, so that's the biggest one in my opinion. One of the other ones is setting an example, right? So if I come in at the office, let's say at 12 p.m. every day, I come in, I'm tired, I'm bringing in food, I'm chilling, hanging around with the friends, right? My agents that are coming in are going to think that's acceptable. It's not. So I think it starts from the top, right? We got to set a good example. So I'm coming in at 7:30 in the morning. My agents should feel a little silly coming in at 10 in the morning, right? They're walking in, half of the office is closed. They're like, damn, I shouldn't have got that extra hour of sleep, or maybe I should have kind of picked up the pace a little bit and been on time. So I think setting an example is extremely important because it's monkey see, monkey do, right? I mean, I followed you, Hanan, and and look where it's taken it, right? And I'm sure you had someone who you followed, whether it be Steven, whatever the case may be. But if you're going to be a top producer, odds are your agents are, right? They're
Hmm.
a product of their environment. So I think setting an
Hmm.
example is also extremely important.
Can I touch on that?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little. I'm gonna talk a little. This is recorded, so I'm not gonna talk too much, but I'm gonna talk a little mess for you guys. Okay. Um, you can't show someone how to sell some insurance if you're not doing it in front of them. Okay. I've sold close to like 400 to 450, I think, close to 450 in the last 2 years. And 80% of that was done on Zoom. So people have seen me make 400 grand. Like a lot of you guys can't say that. So what you need to do is one, get really aggressive in what you're doing and figure out how to do it well. And then show everybody else that process too. I've gotten the most amount of no closes on Zoom. Why is that? Because I'm doing the most work. That also means I've gotten the most closes. So be fine embarrassing yourself. Ethan's seen me get hung up on a million times. Joseph's seen me get hung up on a million times. They see me no close. They see me when I'm getting mad at clients. They see it all. They see me when I close. They see it all, right? Because we're here. Even when we weren't in office, I was doing it on Zoom because I understood. early on that selling insurance alone does nothing for you. You cannot get better and you cannot help anybody else get better. So I would say that's step one. Okay. Get good at what you're doing and then let people watch. And if you're not good at it, let people watch you grow. Okay. Then the embarrassing part or the embarrassment is super, super important because when you have people watching what you do, you're going to do it at a high level because you don't want to embarrass yourself. Um, when I unmute, it's so that I don't say the wrong things on the phone because I like to cut corners a lot. So I'm like, all right, I got to unmute so that I'm on point. All right, because let me not BS the client. I got to make sure I do good by the client, good by my agents. So that's super important. It holds yourself accountable. Because Ethan, talk about it. When you first started, you saw me close. If I wasn't there closing live, how what would you think about me, the business, anything? Like, what would you think?
It would have went back to my same opinion on life insurance to begin with, right? Like, is this real? I'm not seeing anybody. I hear Hanan says he makes money, but I'm not seeing it, right? I don't know what the process looks like. I mean, I was able to watch you for weeks on end and literally just study, take notes, study your objections, your tonality, your script, everything you did. I was very attentive and focused. So it's a huge impact.
Yeah, 100%. And for you, with the agents coming in, like they see you early in the morning, close the deal, bam, right today, and then you're able to go up there and teach them. So
Hmm.
that's super, super important. You cannot tell somebody to do something if you're not doing it. It makes no sense. It's going to go back into this book I was reading called Skin in the Game. You have to have your skin in the game. Okay. You cannot be BS and people say, yeah, go do that, go do this, go do that. No, it doesn't work like that. They need to believe that you believe in what you're telling them to do and that you do it and that you're putting up the same risk that they are. Are you spending the money? Are you spending more money than them? How could I tell somebody to go spend money if they're not spending money, if you're not spending money on leads? It makes no sense. Okay. Um, now I know you had another topic. Go ahead, Ethan.
Did you close?
See, one
Oh,
of his
sorry.
guys is
Just
closing right now. Come on, y'all.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah, we got two closing right now.
two closing.
Um, yeah. So the other topic, I think this is huge. Non, you already brushed
Mhm.
over it pretty much, but having an active agent who's willing to learn, right? So, for example, the guys in the office, I mean, there's four of us that do 100,000 combined a month, right? So when you put new agents around that environment, all of us are closing every single day, realistically. So they're surrounded by nothing but closes. They're surrounded by nothing but money. These new agents that are coming in, they're going to become a product of the environment or they're going to be out of this business. There's no other way around it. So they're going to either perform just as good or better, or they're going to find out if this industry is not for them very quickly. That's a that's huge, right? We all know being a product of the environment, whether you grew up in a poor ghetto neighborhood or a rich neighborhood, right? You became a product of your environment. You have to take the steps to obviously get out of that and be uncomfortable. But the new agents who are willing to make mistakes and be embarrassed are the agents that are going to succeed much quicker. They're going to build confidence a lot faster and they're going to make money a lot faster, right? If you're willing to learn, if you're willing to fall on your face and look like a fool, you're going to learn a lot quicker. And that applies to anything in life, especially life insurance. Come on. Um, that that's all I got here.
I agree. No, that I agree 100%. And I'll tell people to go fail. I'll and this is something we all need to get better at. I will tell someone to go do something knowing that they're going to fail. Why? It's going to show them one, they shouldn't be listening to me for everything. Okay. Two, it's going to let them fail so that they could grow. Okay. Like I learned this early on. My dad was saying one of the people he worked with, people would call them about underwriting questions. Hey, they got cancer. Can they go America? And they would be like, yeah. So like it's those little mistakes that you allow people to do. So people still ask me this, hey, could this go here for that? I'm like, yeah, dude, try it, run it. Why not? You know? And I know they're gonna get declined, but they don't. And they need to experience that. Okay. And as far as script, someone will be like, hey, do you think I should say this? Try it. Why not? Right? Because the best thing you could do as an agent is try new things, whether it's gonna work or not work. That's the best thing you could do. So allow people to fail. That's huge. And I feel like I was going to segue that into something because you had mentioned something else that was really important. What were you saying, Ethan? You said something before that. Product
But
of
the
your, of
product
your
of environment,
yes, product of the environment. So that's super important because there's two parts to that equation. You could either create the environment or you could be a product of the environment. At first, you're going to be a product. Then you need to create it. Okay. You need to figure out what type of person do I want to be and what type of people do I want around me. Okay. You create that. There's this thing I see on social media. They call it like a custom made reality. You control everything in your life because you control what's going on up here. You can control what you give your attention to, whether that be on social media, on Instagram. You control what you watch, what you listen to. So that's step one. Okay. Then you need to control what you're doing and what you're around, who you're around. Okay. Being on this Zoom is a great first step. Then you need to figure out, okay, what am I doing on a day to day basis? What's my activity? Okay. Am I going into an office? Am I being on Zoom? This is how you slowly curate your environment to be firing on all cylinders, if you will, Aaron. Because you need to be like this year, you just need to be on go time at all times. You guys need to get busier. Like I'm looking at a couple of you guys, like get busy. Like what are you doing on a day to day basis? Get really, really busy. You should be at the end of the day. You can correct me if I'm wrong here. At the end of the day, you should be like, dang, there was 5 things I still didn't get to do today because I was just that busy. There was 5 things I had to do for someone else today that I just couldn't get to, but I'm gonna get it to tomorrow. Because you guys need to get busy, 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 busy. And then your income will just start to match it. You need to do more than what you're being paid currently, and then it'll match. That's what I would say. Oh, a good tangible for you guys is don't talk to agents until they finish the boot camp. Okay. I will not talk to you until you finish that. That's step one. Once they finish boot camp, you need to do a release presentation with them. Okay. And if they watch the boot camp, they should be hitting you up for release presentations because it's mentioned a couple times in there. So they should already know that. Okay. If their if their release presentation sounds really bad, fail them, please. Okay. Do not let them go on the phone. Steven's really good at that. I fail. Go rewatch it again. Okay. So do
Denied.
that. Yeah, denied. Um, they need to finish that. Okay. If not, you cannot try to train someone out of your day something that could be watched. Okay. It makes no sense to either of you. They need to take some initiative. Okay. And there's probably some of you on here that need to go watch that boot camp. Go watch it. It's okay. It's fine. Um, and then so do the release presentation. Then from there, get them on some sort of lead, whether that be an AIDS lead, a new lead, whatever you guys are running, just have them run into that. Um, like Joseph, one of our biggest writers, he didn't buy an AIDS lead for a year because I was like, if I'm showing off these leads, I know he for sure can. So I was like, I'm not going to start you on AIDS leads. No, you're going to fail. You're going to do fine, and then you'll catch up. You need to do another one, Aaron. That's hilarious. So I would say just have them run whatever you're running. AIDS leads is cool, but just have them run the same play that you guys are. Okay, whether that be vets, final expense, mortgage, whatever you guys are running. Okay. Um, and then from there, they should be writing pretty quick. It doesn't take that long to write. What would you say, Aaron, for people's first sell? How do you like getting people to make their first sell? Warm market, a lead, AIDS lead, something you like to do?
Aaron?
Ethan, I'm sorry, Ethan.
Nah, I was looking forward to Aaron's answer. What was your question?
I know I
I
should
thought
have
this
said
was
your name.
addressed to Aaron.
Sorry. Yeah, my bad. How do you like to get your agents to write their first deal? Warm market, lead, or AIDS lead?
Oh, I think leader age leads. That's actually something I was going to bring up was when you're bringing new agents on, they obviously rely on you if they are on lead support and they're not on lead bank, right? So essentially, you're their lead bank. So the leads that you guys can't close that were from 2 years ago, odds are they can't close or they can't even get a hold of anymore. Disconnected numbers, whatever the case may be. So when I had new agents onboarding and I knew they were actually going through the onboarding process, so they were getting contracted with carriers, each week I spent an additional $200 to $300 on age leads. So I kind of had a stockpile built up for about a month, 2 months, to where when they walked in, I wanted them to get a sale as soon as possible because I knew the faster that they got that closed, the faster they got that sale, the faster they believe in the system, the more they want to work and the hungrier they get. So they get a taste of it, right? They understand, okay, this is what it's like to close a deal. Two, they start to understand the process. So the application process, like, okay, it's starting to click now. And three, they just get fueled up, right? That per sale, what I made $700 today. I didn't even make that at my last job. So that gets them fueled. So I think age leads is the best route to go. There's room for error. right? So if they're working a $20, $30 final expense lead and they mess up, it's like, okay, there goes $20, $30. You get them an age lead, it's like, okay, well, now you can mess up 30 times. Um, and the goal is just to find the goal is to find the people who want life insurance. So don't get discouraged when they're hanging up. Don't di- don't get discouraged when any of that happens. You're gonna find the people that want life insurance, and it's gonna be a lot easier than you think it is. So I think age leads is definitely the route to go.
You like age leads, huh?
I
I think
love
that
age leads.
I think it depends on the person. So I would say if someone's coming in and they seem like they're a confident person, I'm gonna just throw you on some normal leads because I like to break people down and build them up. Like in boot camp, like or like any form of boot camp, right? Military. I like to break you down because a lot of people come in and they think they're good. I'm like, oh, buddy, wait, just wait, just wait. So I like to break them down, and I like to consistently break people down to build them up because that's the best thing you can do for someone is where are you going wrong? Okay, we're doing this wrong. All right, let's fix it. Okay. So first thing, break them down. I want you to spend some money and I want you to fail so that we could fix it. Um, that's what I would say. If they seem confident, if they seem already a little like nervous, a little scared, then I think the age leads is going to be good because it's going to build that confidence, right? You don't want them to get you don't want if they're already low, you can't bring them lower. Okay. If they're low, you got to build them up. If they're high, you got to build it's an ebb and flow. Okay. So that's what I would think with that. What's another good topic? How to get people to write insurance.
Can I actually touch up on what you just said?
Yeah.
When they start spending their money, right, and they get discouraged, a few weeks go by and it's like, okay, now what do we need to fix? I think I'm not sure how your parents kind of did things, but my parents was like, if you're gonna buy that, you're gonna go buy it with your own cash, and you're gonna treat it a lot differently, right? My parents bought me a phone. I'd be throwing it around, this, and that. I buy my own phone. I'm like, I can't have this break. I just spent $1,000. This phone is not breaking. And I think it's the same thing from agents who are on lead support versus buying their own leads. It's like, okay, if I'm buying my own leads, now it's time to show up. Like this just got real. I just spent $1,000. How am I going to get this money back? And they take the
Yep.
business more serious.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Oh, taking things serious. I want to touch on this because I touched on this on Friday. Hey guys, type one if you take what you do serious. If you take this business serious, put one. Steven got a lot of ones. See that's why he's the highest paid. He put all the ones. Okay, let's go, Steven. Um, so guys, like, do we take what we do serious? Do you think about this all the time? Put one if you think about it all the time. Okay, Amin. Okay, good. Okay, so we're already on a good foot here. Okay. So now, are you guys working on your craft all the time? Like, if you did put one, this is what it looks like to work on your craft at all times as an agent. An agent will go throughout his day. He will dial 8 to 12 hours. And at the end of the day, he'll be looking over his calls, whether that be listening to them or thinking about them, keep a mental note of them, um, and be thinking, okay, I had three no sells today and I quoted them each $100. I missed out on $3,000 because I'm not good at what I did, right? I messed up somewhere and that cost me $3,000. So they're going to go to sleep thinking, okay, what did I do wrong? How could I have done it better? And then they're going to wake up the morning in the shower and be talking about they'll be like, I'm not interested. Okay, great, Mary. I understand you're not interested. My job is really just to show you a couple of options. They'll be running this in the shower, right? This is what I did for like a year and a half straight because I sucked. I was garbage. So I was like, I need to really try to get good. So you need to think about it all day. Two, you need to be doing way more activity than all of us, right? Like me and Ethan, we could just come in here, dial for like 2 hours and we'll make a sell. It's really not that hard. But why is that? Because we have time, experience, and money. A new agent has time, no experience, and maybe money. So you're already at a disadvantage. So you need to do four, five, six times the volume to catch up to us. Okay. Um, that's really what I would say. Aaron argues with shampoo. What about you, Ethan? What does that obsession or that seriousness look like for you?
It's funny because you, me, and Steven had a call about 4 or 5 months ago, and I talked about how like I feel like my obsession is becoming a problem. Like my eyes are twitching. I'm waking up thinking about it. I'm going to sleep thinking about it. I'm talking to my girlfriend for 4 hours about it, and she just wants me to stop talking because it's been 4 hours and she wants to watch TV now. My obsession is literally that. I research everything. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm using ChatGPT. I'm asking Hanan a ton of questions. I'm looking at everything on my own. I write down game plans, to-do lists every day. Um, I, the obsession is just acting on it. I'm researching, I'm applying, I'm looking at different sources, um, how to generate my own leads, how to do everything, organization, automating business. My obsession is every minute of the day I'm thinking about it. The weekends don't feel like weekends, which is fine for me. I look forward to Mondays, but that's what my obsession looks like.
Looking forward to Mondays is strong. That's strong. That's strong. Um, obsession. I was thinking about this when you were saying that. Obsession is like a sacrifice, right? You you know me. I had to sacrifice, and my sacrifice didn't hit me till like 3 4 months 3 4 months ago. But it was because I was already sacrificing time, energy, right? I would be with someone, and then if someone calls me, I'm answering, no matter what I'm doing. If someone in the business calls me, I am answering. I'm driving down the hill to go to a wedding, and someone's like, "Yo, let me listen to my call for me." I'm listening to their call. Like it's always on, and you need to be able to first turn it on, and then you need to be able to keep it on because the hardest thing is getting off the ground. You might be discouraged. You might be like, "Hey, Hanan, I don't think I could do this." Chris, you might be scared to dial. Dimitro, you might be scared to buy leads, right? We all have our faults, our problems, our fears, but it's really the question just comes down to is not what you are afraid of, but are you willing to face it, right? Are you willing to make that first step to be like, all right, I'm afraid of it, but can I just at least try to dial today? And once you do that first dial, then you're in the game. Then you're like, all right, I'm ripping for 4 5 6 7 8 hours now. And then Monday's deposit day, yeah, it is, right? Um, I agree 100%. What else you got, Ethan? Spit some
Joseph
bars,
had
man.
brought up Joseph had brought up Jay Maska. He walked in, and he had brought him up. He was like, "Dude, his team is like doing this numbers," and I'm like, "Yeah, you know why we can't do that?" And he was like, "Why?" I was like, "We don't want it. We don't want it enough. Like we're in here at 8 a.m. Do you know how late 8 a.m. is for a job? Like I was working construction at 6:30, and that's not even early. I know people who work at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. Like if you want it, you'll get it. But the only difference is the people who want it and the people who don't. I work 8 a.m. to 5. I work 7:30 to 5:30, right? I don't want it enough. It's as simple as that. If I wanted it, I'd be here earlier. If I wanted it, I'd stay later. I know I could do 40, 50,000 a month. I choose not to. Not saying that's acceptable at all, because it's not. But the difference is wanting it or not.
That's facts. That's facts. I feel you there, brother. I feel you there. Um, Stays in the gym by 4 a.m. Yeah. So like how much more can we all do? Right? We all could do more. We all have our problems. We all have our limited beliefs. I wanted to talk about that. Right. Limiting belief for a lot of people, Ethan, is they're coming from jobs, they're getting paid 4 or 5 6 grand their whole life. And it's a weird mental shift to say, yeah, I now think I'm worth 10,000, $15,000 a month. It's a weird mental shift. And that's a limiting belief because if you do the work, you deserve to get compensated, right? It's okay to make $10,000, $15,000 a month. I'm down in Laguna yesterday or the day before, and I'm looking around. I'm like, bro, like it's a different world. You guys need to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. Like, I'm gonna just talk a little shit. All right, we're in Laguna, and how are we the only black people out there? It's like it's crazy. So like I'm like, all right, so should I feel like out of place or should I feel comfortable? Right. But growing up, my dad always told me my money is just as good as everybody else's. Why? Because you do the work and it's yours and you're able to go spend it how you choose. So you need to be comfortable being in positions where you think you aren't. If you walk around and you're like, yo, everybody up in here look like they're making 40 grand. I'm used to making two. It's okay. It's fine. You just need to put in the work, do the effort, spend the money, and you'll become a person eventually that is worth 10 to 15 grand. But it starts by believing that you are. So like me right now, I think I'm a millionaire, Ethan. eventually my activity, my belief, my risk, everything else will just catch up to that because it starts with the belief, and then everything else will follow, and then eventually will, and then eventually it'll hit.
I think that's important. I think belief and confidence is extremely important because it sets the tone for the whole entire day. If you get hung up, you have one bad call, you're hot, you're pissed off, like take a break, calm down, go collect yourself, get back to it. Don't let that call affect the rest of your calls today because it's going to
Mm.
be a lot worse if you let that carry over. Um, yeah, positivity. Aaron had a question. How do you prepare your new agent's mental from all the outside voices? Aaron, I think it's pretty simple. Um, you ignore it, or at least I did, because I heard a lot of stuff and I completely ignored it. It's like, yeah, watch this. Um, a lot of people say, what if it doesn't work? Right? But what if it does? So
Mm.
you gotta ignore it. The people that think it's a scam, it's like, okay, is it a scam when your family receives this money to take care of those expenses? Is that a scam then? Or is it a scam when you have to come out of pocket? Come on. Can we serious? I know you watched little cartoons of Mutual of Omaha in the 70s, 80s, right? One of the carriers we work with, we can keep naming them. We work with all of them. You help people get coverage. That simple. Look my name up. Look my license number up. Let's go through this. All
Mm.
right. I think it's that simple. If you have significant others, parents, friends that are questioning whether it's a scam, it's not real, it's not going to work, just ignore them, right? How many times have you been told something like that? If you guys had dreams when you were in high school, hey, I want to be a professional football player, your teacher's like, you're not going to make it. You're not going to do it. And then those same guys do. It happens every single day. And that's should be like your origin story. It's like, I remember when Johnny said I couldn't. Look at me
Mm.
now, Johnny.
He said, look at me now, Johnny. I agree 100%. For me, on the agency side, you really just have to reinforce what they're doing. You have to be the positiveness outside of their house. Like people show up to these calls because it could be an hour of positive talk or positive self-belief just for an hour of the week, right? So whenever you're on, you need to not do your people a disservice. And you need to be on. So that's what I would say. And then like Ethan said, it's just reinforce it. Like, bro, like a couple months ago, I was driving down the street. Like if it's local and I saw a GoFundMe, like, did you guys do that too? Like, imagine if they had life insurance, right? Things like that help people believe it. And then most people have had a situation in their family where someone passes away without coverage as well. So um, most people know the importance of it. That's what I would say. Most people know the importance of it. You just have to remind them. Um, Now, Ethan, let's talk about this because you said it the other day. You said, did you say or was I thinking it? I think you were saying how happy you were to like see the growth in one of your guys.
Oh, no, I said, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but I get like
Uh-huh.
more happy and nervous when my agents are closing than me. Is that what you're talking about?
No, but
Then
let's
maybe
talk
you
about
said
it.
it.
I might have been thinking it because I saw you outside standing with the guys and you're training. And I'm like, bro, the growth is just crazy to see, and like that's what we do it for. But let's talk about that. You said when your agents are closing, you get more nervous than when you're closing. Now, I'm gonna ask this: if you were still nervous to close and you didn't know how to close, like how would you handle that nervousness of them trying to close?
That would be horrible. That's like, I mean, two nervous people not knowing what they're doing. That's awful. You're just guessing. Like, it does not sound fun. I
Yeah,
get nervous out of excitement for them. It's like, oh, I remember when I felt this, right? We close now, and it's like, all right, well, it's time to do the next one. You know what I mean? For a new
yeah,
agent, that close is extremely significant because it's like what I talked about the first time, right? Getting your new agent to write that first policy. As soon as it's a done deal, they're it's game changing. They believe that they're ready, they're motivated, um, and that's why I get nervous. I'm like, please get approved.
please. Let's talk about it. I mean, I get nervous every day of the day. I'm like, all right, any of these lawyers gonna close or what's going on? um, so let me ask this: type one in the chat if you've bought one of your agent's leads. Steven is on go. He just stay ready. Steven, of course. Okay, so we got a couple of you guys. Steven, Jordan, Amin, more leads on people than anyone else. That's facts. Yeah, that's fact. Is that New Cox Internet LOL one? Okay, nice. Okay, so we got quite a few. You guys need to be willing to bet on people. If I walk in the office and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy so and so some leads. Okay, what does that teach the person that I buy leads? No, what does that teach everybody in the office? Someone type it because we're gonna get real interactive. What does that teach everybody in the office? Stick in the game. Okay, I like that. You believe in them. Yes, Corey. Great answer. It shows that I believe in them. If I'm willing to put my money up on the line for him, there's no reason why he doesn't think he could do it himself. Right. And then for everybody else seeing it, one, it shows them that it's okay to bet on other people. It's okay to believe in other people. And it's fine to spend that money because it always comes back tenfold. Right. You're believing them are willing to invest in them. Exactly. Exactly. If you walk in here and you're too tight fisted, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. Because if you walk into a if you just even walk anywhere and you're tight fisted, people could see that on you. They could feel it. It's a dark energy. It's disgusting. It's vile. Like run that through your mind. You're afraid to spend some money. Why? Why? If anyone's afraid to spend some money, type one in the chat. Say one if you're afraid to spend money. Okay, Thomas, let's talk about it. What, Rachel? Oh my God, Rachel, no. So, Rachel, it's okay to spend money. It's okay to spend and invest on yourself. One, because you deserve it. First off, you deserve it, right? They'll buy dinner for people they don't like, but won't spend money on people who could help change their life. That's facts. That's facts. That's so true. Um, One, you guys deserve it to invest in yourselves, right? I had to do it before I could think about it and change my mind. That's what we would do with Blake. Blake would just come in like, all right, I need to buy leads. I'd be like, all right, give me your card and tell me what leads you want, and I'd just spend like 2 grand, and then he would just go and dial.
And now he writes 40K.
Yeah, now he writes 40 grand. So let's talk about that. So automate your spend, and then you can't think about it. If you just automate it, hey, this is going out each week, then it becomes a bill, and then it's less emotional, right? It's less emotional. All right, there, boom. Won't even spend $100 on a headset. I I I agree. There's times where I don't have the money and I'll still spend it on my guy before I go spend it on myself. There's times either where I like there's times like I don't got the money, but I'm gonna still let my dollar down for you. And I might need a haircut. But I'm like, all right, bro, like you're good. So guys, stop being so selfish. Use your money for what it's good for. And that's helping other people. Help yourself first, then help other people. Right, Ethan?
Yeah.
100%. 100%. All right, talk some shit. Your turn.
I think we did a good job here today.
Nah, bro, we still got 20 minutes. Let's talk. So let's talk.
All
Let's talk.
right. If you're scared to spend money, I think it goes down to one thing, and it's fear. I think it's the lack of confidence. I know if I spend $1,000 this week, I'm gonna make that back plus more. So I think you have to instill that confidence. However you may get it, however you achieve that confidence, if it's a placebo effect, every time you walk into the office, you're saying, "Hey, I'm gonna make 10 grand this week," then tell yourself that. One of my agents today, I said, tell yourself, say it out loud. I want to hear you. I'm going to close today. I'm going to close today. Let me hear it from you. Say those words. And then I had Hanan tell him, you're going to close today. You're going to close today. And before we leave, he's going to close today because he believed, he had confidence, he understands, he spent the money, he put in the work. Field owes him.
Hmm.
Oh, that was a good question, Edgar.
Which one? Which one? Which one?
You guys said to stay busy. You should have at least 5 things you weren't able to get to. For people that's only been doing this for months, what are some things I should be doing at the moment? In my to-do list is to have over 1,000 dials, 5 presentations, and download my new licenses. What else should I add? What would you add, Hanan?
I would ask the question first, what's your goal?
All right. Question with a question. What's your goal, Edgar?
Right? Because you always have to work backwards. If your first reaction to a question is always to just spitball some bullshit answer, You need to ask better questions. Okay. Whenever people ask me questions, I'm always digging deeper. He wants to make some money. Okay. Off your own pen, or do you want to have some agents? My pen. Okay, let's get it then. So, and then are we spending any money on leads, or are we running from lead bank? You're trying to spend money on leads. Okay. If you're trying, first step is we just got to run it and do it. Okay. We just got to go in the fire. Let's do it. Let's run it. Whatever that budget may be, 500,000 bucks, whatever it is, just hop in the game. Okay. From there, that's step one. That's the first thing you got to do. And that's going to be the hardest. Okay. That's going to be your first thing to stay busy. Two, your dollars is good. $1,000 is great. Five presentations, great. Download your new licenses. That's cool. That's technically not a money making activity. Um, like Daniel said, I would listen to your calls. Okay. Listen to your calls, listen to someone else's call, right? You need to be in the Zoom. If someone's unmuted that knows how to sell, I would listen to it. If they don't know how to sell, don't listen to it. Okay. Because they're going to make mistakes and you're going to think that it was good. So let's not do that. Um, come in earlier, stay later. Yes. Then besides that, those are really your main money making activities. If you only want to make money off your own pen, you just need to buy leads and dial. If you do that for 12 hours a day, you're good. Okay. Um, that's really it, honestly. Writing is so easy, bro. Like you could do it. You did it last week, right? You were in the office. You did a couple prezos and you sold. Like it's not that hard. You know how to do it. Just get more aggressive in what you're doing. If you wanted to up it, do like $1,200, run six prezos, forget your licenses. I don't know. I don't know what you need to do with those. And listen to your calls and listen to someone else's call. What would you do, Ethan?
I'm very similar to Edgar in the aspect that like I know why he's downloading his licenses. Could be to send to clients, building websites, whatever the case may be, but that can be done outside of dialing hours, right? Like you said, it's not a money-making activity. It may help you build rapport and credibility, but during that time, unless you're able to multitask, but that'd be pretty difficult outbounding. Um, I agree with you. That should be done outside of work or working hours. Sorry.
Yeah.
Those are things that can be done outside of that, especially if your main goal is to make money, right? You got to be working on money making activities. So whether that be dialing, text blast, whatever the case may be, that's your goal.
My favorite thing to do when I was dialing and I was looking for something to like gain, if I was looking for an answer, I would just watch some YouTube videos of the people that knew how to sell, right? So I would just watch the Sky Point ones, um, and that'll help you, right? But being on the live dials does help. What's a good way to sell the industry? That was a great question, Chris. I'll read it fully. What's a good way to sell the industry recruits if you're just getting started and only have made one sell? I've experienced that most people want to see results. So it's a great question. What I do, I still like to do this. I like third party recruiting. So if someone comes to me and like, yo, Hanan, I'm kind of interested in doing this, I'm like, all right, look at Ethan. This is what he's done. Um, because it's one thing to sell yourself, but it's another thing to sell somebody else.
There it is.
Pe- People like when other people uplift someone else. So be like, yeah, my boy, I don't know, Art, right, is killing it. Um, and then I would ask Art, yo, do you mind if you gave this guy like a 5 minute call and just tell him about what you do, right? Like how you like it, how you enjoy it. Are you making money? You're not making money. Like just tell him and be real about it. And the best thing for you right now, Chris, is going to be to document your journey. Um, I wish I did that more when I was first starting, right? Getting hung up on a lot. So document your journey, post about it, be loud about it. Whenever you make a sell, hey, made a sell for $1,000, right? Or if you're doing outreach, just outreach and be like, yeah, we're doing this, and talk about the team. Then the team is doing this much volume, um, and I know it'd be really easy for you to do it as well, right? And I'm learning, and I'd love to learn with you. I need like a learning buddy. That's what I would say. What would you say, Ethan?
No, that was a perfect answer. I think what it kind of boils down to is like don't look at what I'm able to do, look what I'm able to teach. So if I can't get any of my agents to produce, what kind of upline am I? What kind of manager, whatever the case may be. If I can't teach them how to make money, I'm useless. I'm no good. So I think that was perfect. If I have agents coming in, it's like, don't look at what I made. Look at what my agents have made. Look at the people that I have taught that have plugged into the system. Look what they can do using it. So I think you touched up on that perfectly.
Because the first follower, guys, is just as important as the leader. I don't know. I don't know if I've heard that or if I created that, but I'm gonna take a little. I think I created
We'll give you
it.
credit.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, the first follower is just as important as the leader because without anyone to lead, you are useless. Okay. Now, if you want to get really deep with it, the first follower should be yourself. Ugh,
I like
ugh,
that.
ugh. First follower should be yourself, guys. You got to be able to lead yourself before you can lead somebody else, right? Spend that money on those leads. Go. I don't know. Go spending the money out on someone else outside of the business. I feel like would be a good entryway to figure out how to spend money on someone else. Get used to it, whether that be buying someone random their lunch, giving to the homeless, donating, charity, whatever you want to do. I think that would be a good entryway to spending money on other people without you actually having agents on your team. So that, go ahead, Ethan. You were about to say something.
Yeah. If you have new agents and they're on lead support, figure out a way for them to sell. Buy them leads, right? Why are you an upline? Why are you an upline if you're not going to help? I want my agents to succeed more than me. One, because it's a great feeling, and two, that's how you make more money, right? Being an upline, that's where it is. I want them to succeed so fast that 3 months down the line, all of them are producing 20, 30 a month because that automates my business. Now I'm able to recruit more. I'm able to spend my time elsewhere, right? You're put into a different position. I'm assuming most of us don't want to be writers for the rest of our life. And if you do, so be it, right? But if you do want to be an upline, the goal is to get them to produce. I want them to believe in the system. I want them to believe in themselves. And I want them to get writing fast because the faster they write and the more they write, the more money I make, the more money they make. And now it's a repeating cycle. Don't be scared to spend that money. Money comes and goes.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
gonna come.
Sometimes money's there, sometimes it's not. Okay, Ethan. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any questions for us? Me, Ethan? Anything? People don't care how much you know, so they know how much you care. That's facts. That's a bar. That's a bar. Any questions, guys? Asking questions is another great thing you guys could do if you want to make money. That's a really good thing. Aaron, I left you guys speechless, or was it Ethan? I think it was Ethan on that last one. For someone who doesn't want it bad enough, like Ethan is saying about 40K, how do you get them to want to do 40K? I would just go find someone else that wants to.
There it is.
Um,
What's that saying, Hanan? Go ahead and say it.
which one?
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it.
Can make them drink it, right?
If they don't want it, they don't want it.
Steven told me that. He was like, "You're people that write what they write. You just leave them alone." He said, "What do you do to someone that writes 40K? You just
I
leave
knew
them
Steven
alone."
was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna set it up.
Damn,
Now I want my agents to write 40K, Steven. That's my focus.
let's go, baby. He said they can if you won't. Ooh,
Mm.
ooh.
Mm.
Oh, now Steven talking some shit.
Mm.
Okay, okay,
You gonna
that's
make
a
me go
bar.
broke, Steven.
That is a bar. That is a bar. How do you let the clients know you truly care? You just want to do half of what you do. How do you let the clients know I truly care? I think they could just hear it in your voice most of the time. If you just sound like you don't care, I mean, they just could hear it. I don't think there's any magic
Tonality.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah, tonality goes super, super far. What did they say? It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yep.
Agents will only do half of what you do. It's true. It's true. It's true till they get better than you, right? Um, because you want your agents to be better than you for sure. Um, Joseph wrote 40 grand before I did. I don't know how. He did it before I did. And it pissed me off. I was like, wait, can I just not write 40 grand? And then the next month I wrote 40. I was like, okay, no, it actually wasn't that hard. um, so you want your people to be better than you and you want them to try to be better than you, right? Like Ethan was like, "Yo, Hanan, you're on my kill list. Good, I want that." Right? So that's what I would say. Just try to build a good community, and everyone will just feed off each other, right? You all just try to get better day by day. We come up in here, we're always trying to get better, do right by people, get more people to do it with. What's the fastest someone hit 40K? Probably
Blake,
Blake. Probably Blake. What, like three
unless
months?
Colton or Wyatt, Steven.
Yeah, yeah, probably. I don't know. Yeah, probably Colin or Wyatt, one of them. Definitely not me.
No, Blake
Me
went
either.
crazy. Blake did in like what, 60 days?
Damn near. I think yeah, 3 months in, he's 42,000. That's
Yeah,
insane.
that's crazy.
What's a bear? And we'll actually talk about this. So, guys, you have to know people's personality. Blake would come in the office and ask stupid questions. So I would say, don't come in here unless you have the routing and account number of the person you're about to sell. Okay. So you need to know people's personalities and how to like how to get the best out of them. So Blake, you wouldn't assume it, but Blake's a very competitive guy. So if we would say that and we're up in there closing, he would get mad. So he'd be like, I just need to get sold routing account number so I could just walk in their office and talk to them. Right. So you need to know people. You need to know people's personalities to get the best out of them.
I think that's something we didn't talk about is when you guys are bringing new agents in, we have to understand a few things. One, how they receive information.
Mm,
Um, and then two, like the type of personality they are. What's going to motivate them? Are they better if I write things down on a whiteboard, or are they better if I just verbally talk? Are they better over Zoom? How do they learn, and what are their personality types like? So Hanan could say the most outrageous things to me. You know, he could talk to me and say whatever he wants, and that's going to motivate me. But that doesn't apply to everyone else, right? I grew up that way. That's my learning. I played sports, so you can rip into me, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. It's time to go. But not everybody learns that way. So I think that that's something that's important as well. Bringing in new agents is understanding one, how they learn, and two, what is their personality like.
mm.
Mm.
That's facts. That is something we did miss out on. What's the bare minimum you expect new agents to write in their first couple months? I want you to be writing 20 grand by your second or third month. It's not that hard, honestly. Um, if you spend what I spend, you should do it really easily.
Just show up.
Same as clients understanding how to receive everything is crucial. Social and bank, definitely not me. All right, any more questions, guys? We got like 5 more minutes. If you have anything, let us know. Um, if not, we're gonna be up out of here. We just gotta keep closing. How many are you closing today, Ethan? That's my question for you.
I'm gonna close another two.
Another two? Okay, a little hat trick.
Yeah.
A little hat trick. Okay, who's closing next? Probably Ethan. Find out what people gets people going. Damn, no questions, Carlos. I mean, you don't got no questions for me, brother. Come on, bro. We got like 4 minutes to fill up. Come on, man.
$1,000 a week to make 20K or to issue 20K in a month. You got to be spending $1,000 a week.
Yeah, I'll talk about this. As a manager, you need to know people's numbers. So a good thing is, and this is something I just now started doing. It's a shame, but you should start tracking how much your agents are spending and know their cost per sell, so you could easily scale it up and see if they're like actually trash or not. Because if you know their cost per sell, you'll be able to know where there's a problem, and then just listen to their calls. A lot of new agents, but no questions, right? Is there a lot of new agents on here? Type one if you're a new agent. Best way to keep clients from canceling. Um,
There's a lot of new
what's the
agents.
best way to keep clients from canceling? That's a great question. What would you say, Ethan? Do you have the best persistency in the office?
How do I keep them from canceling?
Yeah.
I don't, I think that's a writing issue. I don't think like you beg them and say, please don't cancel. I think it's the way you set up. I mean, everything, the options you show, right? Does it fit their needs, or do they just have an extra $15,000 in coverage, or just because they said they can afford it, right? I'm here to do my job. Are we looking to take over burial, cremation, whatever it is, right? And I'm showing them the options. Typically, when they pick that option, I'm like, Hanan, my main concern here is to make sure that this is affordable, right? God forbid something were to happen in the next 2 months. Let's say a new bill, electric went up, whatever the case may be. Do we still feel like we can afford this? Um, and if that's not the case, then we can always start off at a lower coverage amount. Next 2 to 3 months, I'll give you a call back, right? Um, I had a client yesterday, or I'm sorry, this morning. sold her husband a policy last month. 3 weeks later, they wanted to add on coverage. She texted me this morning, they want to take the coverage off. So they're going to stick with the original plan. Sometimes people are people, right? They think they can afford something that they can't, but shouldn't necessarily oversell when you don't have to, right? We want to fit the client's needs. And I think that's how you prevent unwanted chargebacks. I mean, all chargebacks are unwanted. Um, but if they're looking to take her for cremation, I'm like, yeah, Susan, you need $30,000 in coverage, right? Or your family's going to be screwed. That's not what I'm doing. I explain the options. I'm showing them what that covers, and then go from there. I tell them the best type of life insurance is the life insurance we can afford, the life insurance we can have or have currently. Pretty much it.
That's the bar. When you start spending, what's a good target for cost per sell? You want to be below 250 bucks. Anything below 250 bucks at an average premium of like 90 bucks, you're good. Then you're making money. Now, the question is okay, if you know your cost per sell, if your cost per sell is 250 bucks and you're like, Hanan, I'm only spending 500 bucks this week. I'm like, okay, well, you only expect to sell two policies this week, right? That's what I would tell an agent. Okay, so you only expect to sell two, so you're like kind of bullshitting. You're like part time, right? What's your favorite leads to run? I like final expense. Which carrier do you sell the most? Americo.
Mine's turning into trans.
Hmm.
Trans in America.
Favorite leads to run? Yeah, I would do a vet. I would do honestly whatever you like. If you don't like final expense, run something else. Honestly, it's cool.
Definitely a lot more action outbounding.
Yeah, outbounding is the way for sure.
Let Steven say be on the offense.
Got to be on the offense, baby. You got to go chase the sale. You got to be a tiger. Arr, go get them. um, I'm inspired by the both of you. Hey, thank you guys. Shantae, appreciate you. Um, that's going to be it for all of us, guys. It was great. Um, thanks for having us on, Stephen. We appreciate you. If you guys need anything, let us know. We're always here for you. And you guys have a great rest of your day already.